Days of Our Lives has brought joy and a sense of escapism to many fans for decades now. It is one of the longest-running television series in the world and has maintained its charm. We all know that the stories are over the top and the writing can be a bit much, but that's the point. We love to see these families rise and fall spectacularly. Sadly, the immortality of the show isn't shared by all its beloved characters and stars. Many of the older stars, especially those that began at the very start, are no longer with us. In today's video, we're going to take a look at some of the stars of Days of Our Lives that are no longer with us. Hopefully, you enjoy this little trip down memory lane, and make sure you stick around to the end. There are some bonus stories about near-death incidents that you may have never heard. The death of the Immortal Phoenix. The Immortal Phoenix was the nickname of Stefano DiMera, played by Joseph Mascolo. He earned it for all the times he would rise from the ashes and never managed to stay dead. No matter what he went through in life, he always seemed to beat the odds. This was fine for fans that loved to hate him and knew the show would be nothing without it. He was a major part of the show from 1982 to 2016 and was responsible for a lot of heartache and death. Mascolo left the show due to complications with his health and died on December 8, 2016, aged 86. He had finally lost his battle with Alzheimer's. The story of Joseph Mascolo will resonate with a lot of fans that love the character of Stefano DiMera. It is a sad but not uncommon end for these older stars, and we can only hope he was still aware of how much fans loved him at the end. If you are enjoying this video so far, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe. That way you can get instant access to more videos about beloved casts. Now let's move on to two of the most iconic characters from the show. Remembering the Horton family. The Hortons were a crucial part of the series from the very first episode. The show would not have had the heart and charisma it did without the pairing of Alice and Tom. Unfortunately, after long lives and careers, both actors have now passed on. Let's start with Alice Horton, wife of Tom. From the start of the show in 1965, the character had a long and eventful life, with multiple vocations, a criminal past, and the act of potentially faking her death. Her place in the soap is legendary, and it is no real surprise that her actress, Frances Reed, is no longer with us. Reed was born in 1918, so would be well over 100 by now if she were alive. Remarkably, she was still working on Days of Our Lives until 2007, showcasing her longevity and support on set. She died just 3 years later in 2010 at the age of 92. We can't talk about Alice Horton without talking about her husband Tom. Again, Tom was a major part of the series for decades and played by MacDonald Carey for all that time. Tom cheated death on screen, surviving a heart attack after learning that his marriage was invalid. It seems that if you are a character written into Days of Our Lives, you are also given the same number of lives as a cat. Carey was born so long ago now in 1913 that his passing isn't a shock. He died in 1994 from lung cancer. As with Frances Reed, his character died off-screen shortly after. However, the special thing about Carey is that he is partially immortal on screen. That is because it is his voice we hear in the beginning credits. So, every time we hear "like sands through an hourglass," these are the days of our lives. We can honor his memory. Then there is the story of John Clark. Clark played Alice and Tom Horton's middle child, Mickey, from the show's beginning to 2004. He took after his father in his ability to beat the odds, and then some. He survived both a stroke and heart attack, dealt with a bout of amnesia for a bit, and had a mental breakdown. He was also kidnapped by Stefano for a bit because someone had to be over the years. Clark was the lead actor for the role for 39 years, but left in 2004. This is when other actors took over until the writers decided to kill Mickey off via another heart attack in 2010. It wasn't until fairly recently that we lost Clark. He died of complications from pneumonia, aged 88, on October 16, 2019. Losing the Brady parents. The Hortons weren't the only family that we all got behind while watching Days of Our Lives. There was also the hard-working Brady family. They appeared much later, taking over major storylines in the 1980s, but were still influential for decades. The Brady mother was Caroline. She could also have taken the name of the Phoenix, thanks to her ability to rise from the dead. The character was once presumed dead at the hands of a serial killer and off-screen for a while, but she soon reappeared. Peggy McKay took on the role of Caroline Brady for the majority of this run. The only exception was a period near the start of her story when there was a different actress. It was one of those moments of soap opera magic that audiences weren't supposed to notice. Peggy was already a good age by the time she started, playing the motherly role in her 60s with ease. She continued as an important part of the Duell family until her death on October 7, 2018. She died from natural causes at the grand age of 90. Then there was Caroline Brady's husband. Shawn Brady was a lovable man with a string of bad luck to his name. Like so many of these long-running characters, Shawn cheated death more times than is realistic. He survived a heart attack after the family fish market was destroyed. Much later, in 2008, he left the show dying as a true hero. He and his adopted son, Beau, were on a sabotaged plane, and he gave up his oxygen mask to save his boy. In real life, actor Frank Parker experienced a more common cause of death, but one that was no less tragic. Frank was born much later than his on-screen wife in 1939, allowing for a surprising age gap. However, he died just weeks before her on September 16, 2018. He had dealt with both dementia and Parkinson's in his later year, and they finally became too much to handle at the age of 79. The double blow of Frank and Peggy's deaths must have devastated the cast and crew at the time. A more recent Days of Our Lives cast death. Unfortunately, it isn't just the older cast members that have died over recent years. Cody Longo was only in the soap for 8 episodes, but he was a hard-working actor with many TV and film roles to his name. His family found him dead at his home early in 2023, at the age of just 34. Cast members that cheated death. At the start of this video, I mentioned that I had some bonus stories that some people don't know about. One involves Drake Hogestyn, who plays John Black. Drake set up to perform a stunt with a prop door, only the door wasn't rigged properly. He went into the door head first and suffered serious head injuries. It goes to show the importance of checking your set before letting your actors loose. Then there is the story of Freddie Smith. Smith played the son of Sonny Kiriakis before a serious car accident in 2015. Smith's blood alcohol level was over the legal limit when he crashed his car. His 27-year-old girlfriend was in the car and ended up in critical condition. He was lucky to make it out with his life. Finally, in 2020, Maggie Horton disappeared from our screen for a short time and reappeared in a blatant wig. The reason why is remarkable. Actress Suzanne Rogers choked on a large pill while she was doing her hair with a hot curler. The incident saw her cheat death and wake up 2 weeks later in hospital. The accident with the curlers damaged her hair so much she needed the wig. She even went to a rehabilitation center for a while to focus on her recovery. These stars will be missed, but never forgotten. It is hard to look at this list of classic characters and realize that they will never be on our screens again. There is the assumption that one day, one of them will pop up unexpectedly during an episode. They will give a dramatic spiel about how they faked their death to get back at their kids, or maybe for the insurance money. That's part of the fun of an off-screen death. Sadly, these patriarchs and matriarchs are gone for good. So, I invite you to share your fondest memories of these characters in the comment section below. Were you all about the Brady family and their triumphs, or secretly in the corner of Stefano DiMera? Don't forget to share this video with other Duell fans so they can reminisce too. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.